So I am back with another video. Sorry it took me so long to record my next video, but I had to go find, I had to go into the attic and dig up a lot of information and go through it and so that I could be able to bring as much proof to y'all as possible. I may not be able to prove that he did something to my baby, but I can definitely prove that he's a liar. I can definitely prove that he's a manipulator. I can definitely prove that he's a full-blown narcissist. And also, when it comes to my family, like I have so many family members that is upset with me right now, and I do not care. Because if y'all love me like y'all say y'all do, then y'all will understand that I would not be getting on the internet sharing my story if if I was lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would just leave it alone, like y'all said. But the reason why y'all want me to leave it alone is because I'm telling the truth. Like, y'all trying to put in y'all trying to force y'allself to believe that I really did this stuff to my baby, instead of just listening and understanding. And nobody in my family ever came to me and said, "What happened? Let me hear your side of the story." Nobody ever came to me and said, "What happened? I want you to tell me what happened." Nobody, never. So, but they always listen to him, and he can get on here and say, um, "I never said you did this, and I never said you did that." He literally told my family with his own mouth, and my family is hearing this stuff, but they are still trying to make it seem like I'm the crazy one. Like, I'm the weird one. Like, I'm not understanding. So that's why I went and I digged up a lot of information, because I know that if I don't provide that, I'm going to look, I'm going to look like that. Because once I share the video that he put out, it's easy to believe him. Because if you did not know him, you would be like, I don't know, maybe maybe he is telling the truth. So that's why I went and dug up a lot of information before I started my next couple of videos, because I want y'all to understand how good of a liar he is. He's a damn good narcissist. He may be able to get through the court system. He may be able to psych DCS my family, but I know for a simple fact that by me posting it on the internet, you're not gonna be able to play that shit with the internet. You're not gonna be able to do it. I am going to address the comments where you all are asking me what happened to my baby after my grandmother told the courts to give her to her dad. So after my grandmother told the courts to give my baby to her dad, the courts actually awarded custody to her dad. I don't believe that my grandmother understand how that affected me in the eyes of the court system. If her grandmother is going against her, saying give the child to her dad, and she don't want to keep custody of the child and raise the child, then that means she believed that her granddaughter did these things to her child. So I don't think my grandmother thought about that. Another thing I want to address is how people want to try to make it seem like I'm lying about the simple fact that I said my grandmother was allowing him to come over to their house to see my baby, and wasn't allowing me to come over to see my baby. So I'm gonna post the text messages behind me. Y'all can pause and read. But even he used to throw up in my face how he was going over my grandmother's house. Not only was he going over my grandmother's house, when they cut my baby out of my stomach and took her from me, he was going over there, and I was being denied visitation to see my baby. But when he ended up getting custody when my baby was 1 year old, he was taking my baby over my grandmother's house, and I still wasn't. I'm the one that still wasn't seeing my baby. When I went to jail, he was still going over my grandmother's house when I was in jail. My grandmother brought my baby, and I still thank her for that to this day. My grandmother and my dad I really, to be honest, I really think that it was because of my dad, the reason my baby was there. But my grandmother ended up getting my baby, and she brought my baby to jail to visit me one time, and I'm grateful for that time, you know. So during all the time when my grandmother was contacting to visit with my baby or whatever, however they did that, all the time when my grandmother was seeing my baby, not one time did she say, "Hey, I got your baby over here. Do you want to talk to her? Do you want to see her? Do you want to anything?" None of that. But she would allow him to come over her house and visit with my baby. And then when he got custody, he was actually still going over my grandmother's house to, you know, basically let her visit with my baby. But when I got custody back of my baby, nobody wanted to see my baby. And I found that very, very, very fucking strange. Like, my grandmother didn't call me and say, "Congratulations, you got your baby back." She didn't call me and say, "Hey, how did you get the baby back?" I thought he was the better fucking parent, you know? Nobody said anything to me about the simple fact that I ended up getting my baby back. I didn't get no congratulations from the family. I didn't get no "how you get her back." You know, I didn't, like, they gave you, like, none of that. Everybody just ignored the fact that to this day, my daughter is 17 years old now. To this day, nobody in my family have called to check on my baby. Nobody have ever, aside from my dad. My dad is the only one to keep in contact. Have always kept in contact. Nobody have asked how she doing. Nobody said, "Hey, I just want to come peek through your blinds and make sure you ain't doing nothing to her." You know, I just want to be involved with y'all to make sure that you don't do anything to her. I just want to, you know, be in her life to make sure you don't do anything to her. I feel like if anybody ever felt like I did anything to my daughter, they would be in. If you care about me, then you'll be somewhat involved. But nobody was ever involved. I just think that this was one of those things where uh the enemy tried to take me out, and he wanted to destroy me, and realized he couldn't. God had other plans.